Good morning, my beautiful people, or whatever time it is when you're watching this. Today I've got Cursed by the Internet. I'll play it once and I'll show you guys how. Then we're back at the top. Let's get into it. Alright, before we begin, I would just like to say that this was a labor of love. This was not easy to learn, and I watched a lot of live videos trying to get it as accurate as I possibly could. I think I got it pretty darn close. Anyways, let's get into the chorus or the A section, because both parts, they say the name of the song, so I'm not exactly sure which one's the chorus. Anyways, this is the first part, and this is what it sounds like. Cool, so it's basically like a 4-bar loop with 2 different endings. So the first chord is going to be a B flat minor 9, and that's gonna look like this. Steve always plays these minor 7 chords or minor 9 chords, which is with his middle finger on the low E string, which also meets your A string, and then your ring finger gets those your D, G, and B string, and then your pinky's gonna take care of the top like this. And remember, this A string is muted by the underside of the middle finger. Alternatively, you could play it like this, with your ring finger pressing down the 9th fret of your A string, and then you just strum all that. After that, we've got an A flat major 7 chord, which is the interesting thing about this one is that he uses his index finger to play the 3rd fret, or the 4th fret, and the 3rd fret on the high E string, so it looks like this. Alternatively, if that's awkward, you could take your thumb and put it on that root note and hit down the same notes. If that is still uncomfortable, what you can do is put your middle finger on the root, pinky on your G string, ring finger on your B string, and index finger. And we're going to be leaving out the 2 strings between your E string and your G string. Cool, something for everybody. So the first 2 chords together, and it's just going to be like 1 bar per chord, so it's just like 1 strum each. Or maybe it's like 2 beats per chord, however you're going to count it. Anyways, after that, the first ending, the fancy way, is going to be like this. Alternatively, you could just play the 1st and the 3rd chord. So the first chord is going to be E flat minor 9, played like this, followed by a D altered, make sure you're barring with your pinky there, and then a D flat major 7. Make sure that your index finger is barring all the way up to the top on all those. Well, the middle one you're gonna have to use your pinky. So that's gonna sound like this. Alternatively, you could just play the 1st chord and then the 3rd chord. So I'm gonna play the first half of the chorus progression. Or. Cool, and then the next part, the first 2 chords are going to be exactly the same as the chords we started with. So it's going to be back to B flat minor 9, then to A flat major 7. Then instead of going to your E flat minor 9, you're going to go down to your G flat major 7, regular schmegular, and then you're going to go to, this chord was so hard for me to figure out. This is totally what he plays though. And And then it's gonna be this A flat minor 7 flat 13 or something like that. If you don't know what that means, it really doesn't matter. It just looks like this. Cool, so this is gonna be the whole thing. And that would be, the next part would be like the top of either another chorus or it would go into the next section. All right, and we'll get into the form of things later, but basically you're gonna play that first section twice and then it's gonna come to this section, the B section or the verse or whatever it's called. Cool, sounds like this. Sounds like this. Got it? No, but you're about to. So let's get into it. It's gonna start with a D flat major 7. Regular old D flat major 7. I'm sure you're very familiar with this chord shape by now. And then after that, it's gonna go into, this is a pretty odd chord. This is a C minor 7 flat 9. So I know it sounds funky. This is 100% what he plays. Steve Lacy, that is. And then we're gonna go to a E major 7, followed by an E flat major, or E flat minor 7. And then we're gonna go back to our D flat major 7. Now instead of going to a C minor 7 flat 9, we're gonna go to this C7 like flat 13. And then we're gonna go to, I saw a couple of different versions, so I'll show you both ways that he's played it. Regularly he plays this F minor 7 chord. Although on some recordings I saw him play this, where he just like, you just bar that fret, like F sus. Anyways, after that you're gonna go to this is like the same shape that we used before. This is a D minor 7 flat 13. We used the shape earlier, cool. And then after that, it goes back to the original section that we were going to. Cool, so now you know both sections. Let's figure out how to put them together. All right, so the form of the tune, and I wish I knew it a little bit better so I could sing like which lyrics went to which, but I don't. Anyways, so it's gonna be drum intro, 4 bars, and then you're gonna play the chorus of the A section. You're gonna play that twice. And when I say play it twice, I mean you're gonna go all the way through. That's one time, and then you're gonna do that again. After you do the chorus twice, you're gonna do the verse of the B section one time. And when I say one time for that, it's actually longer, so it ends up being the same length. So one time of the chorus is gonna sound like this. That's one time. So it's like a chorus twice is like the same length as a verse. Anyways, so I'm gonna start calling them A's and B's, okay? So you got intro for 4 bars, A twice, then a B, then A twice, then a B, then an A once, then a B, and then 2 more A's to finish it. Sorry if that sounded confusing. I would say just watch that part back and just like write it down if you need help remembering it. Or really what I would recommend you do is you go and you find the song after you have the chord shapes down and you just play along with it, because that's really how you're going to learn the form of the tune. Cool. I hope this was clear. This is been one that's been very widely requested by these people. Thanks, guys. And leave more requests in the comments. My channel is small. We're almost at 1K subscribers, which is so awesome and exciting for me. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, leave more requests and I'll probably get to them. Goodbye, have a nice day. Leave any questions or anything in the comments.